Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Shane Jenkins. For those of you who do not know me, this show is Liberty's Cage. It is a podcast about liberty and it being captured, just like the Jan Sixers were captured and held captive in a cage. And we want to free our liberties and we want to stop the infringement of our constitutional rights. And we just want to share a lot of stories from the Jan Sixers. Typically, the people I interview on this show are January 6 former political prisoners, many of them friends of mine who I did many days, dark days with in the DC Gulag. And so it's just a pleasure to share those days. There were some good days. Some of the holidays we used to sit down and make big meals together after we got off of solitary confinement and the lockdowns and all that stuff. But we have a lot to do, a lot of work to do. We don't want Americans to forget what we went through. We also don't want people to forget, that this could happen. This could very easily be them next. And so I think we have to keep a watchful eye on our government. We do not trust the government just in general because there are stories like this. And so I think that's the reason we are where we are right now, is because we have had people who have been negligent in their citizenship and their duty to maintain this republic, to supervise our government, to have some oversight, to demand accountability, to all that kind of stuff. And so we're kind of in a situation right now where we have started I would say, it's cost American lives. We're at war with Iran. I don't know if, I guess it's officially at war, but there have been, I guess, 3 deaths of American soldiers so far. And I didn't vote for that. I didn't vote to be Israel's bodyguard. I didn't vote for any of that. And so I have a friend of mine who's going to be on with us today, David Dempsey, who he is the creator of the Dempsey Doodle. Maybe we can get an explanation, as for those of you who don't know what a Dempsey Doodle is. We can get an explanation of what that is. And he's a funny guy. He likes to talk a lot, so I'm going to apologize to the editors and the people, the producers on the backside of this. We're probably going to run over and have to fix the show afterwards, so we're going to apologize for Dempsey now. But I'm going to go ahead and bring on my brother, my friend, David Dempsey. What's up, David?
Well, I'm gonna take forever. I'm gonna humble myself here. I'm gonna be
All right, we're going to go
short
ahead and
and
mute him here. We're
composed.
going to
No run-ons. No run-ons.
go.
I
How are you, man?
huh?
How are you?
Shit, man. I've been in recovery mode, but it's a blessed one nonetheless.
Well, I'm glad to see you're free. I'm glad that I know that you and I talk pretty regularly. I know that the struggle has been real with you and many of us. I have had my own struggles. I think we all have had adverse reactions to what was done to us. But I kind of wanted to just get into, you were active in protesting and counter protesting, whether it was BLM, Antifa, whatever it was in California, and had some stuff going on with that. But I would like to hear, I kind of want to hear your Jan 6 story, but there's also another story, a much darker story that was prior to January 6th that I think that would be useful for you to share with the general public. And you can kind of just take off from where you want. But just let's hear it. I'm gonna put this on you right now.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this volume up so I can hear you a little better. Okay, that's a lot better. Oh shit. I think that might be a little too good. Um. Okay. Oh
You're
shit.
originally from California, right, David?
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
originally from California, Southern California to be exact. I was born in the San Fernando Valley in Northridge. It's LA County for those who are unfamiliar with the San Fernando Valley. I always tell people, they're like, where are you from in California? I just tell them LA for the sake of simplicity, because you know most people don't understand the areas or know the areas, so I just say LA. But yeah, I'm from LA. I was born in the '80s and had the luxury of being able to have, some semblance of a childhood, thanks to my grandfather. Other than that, it was a hellish, nightmarish landscape that nobody should ever have to deal with. Um, and that's something we can discuss in a bit. But yeah, I've enjoyed my time here on this earth, done a lot of things, been a lot of places, been all over the country. Uh, even got invited to the Capitol, you know.
There you go.
So
Right. And so how you were kind of active. Were you always a Trump supporter, or when did that kind of begin? And so I know you were doing some protesting. I know you got in trouble in California. I'm not sure exactly what preceded that, but I know you've been involved from early on.
so um I've always been very conservative minded, um, but I unfortunately exhibited very liberal behaviors per se. Like criminal or just rambunctious, rebellious attitude and behaviors and stuff. But even though it was always like a kind of a living oxymoron, if you will, or
Mhm.
a catch-22 or double-edged sword, that be a conservative and then be in jail.
Right.
And then you're saying, like, you're talking to dudes who you do whatever you're doing. Like, I found a morbid way of justifying what it was I was doing because of my struggles. So I
Mhm.
use that as my essentially my excuse to be able to justify the things that I was doing. And I was like, I don't break into people's houses. People who do that are fucking scumbags, And then you got dudes in jail who are in there for, home invasions or, residential burgs and, dudes who are, had disagrees with somebody and he's like, oh, you want to jack me? I'm gonna come jack. There's all kinds of reasons why people do it. I don't fucking believe in it. It's different if it's like a dope house and somebody kicks down the door.
Right.
But like, if you're just breaking into somebody's house, I think they should fucking take your head off your shoulders, and I
Right.
don't have no fucking, I don't split words or spare opinions with them on that. And some people don't like that shit too much because they're in there for that. And they're like, well, you're a fucking burglar motherfucker. And I'm like, yeah, well, I break into, insured establishments that are owned by multi-conglomeracies in the dead of night when not a fucking soul's around. And as so much as a fucking, a church mouse farts, I'm fucking out of there. Your dumbass goes in there with a gun and is willing to blow away anybody that's in the privacy and
Well,
of their own home, and you're violating the sanctity of something that should never be violated, period, and
so would
there's
you
no
say
excuse for it.
you'd say you're have always been conservative, or what? You were had
Yeah.
encounters with law, and then kind of. So what got you?
E-
You've
even
been in
even
and out of trouble with the law, right? And then what brought you into MAGA and all that kind of stuff? How did you go and how did you get involved in all that?
I was actually in jail, ironically, and I saw Trump up on the thing. It was 2015, and I saw Trump up on the screen, and I couldn't hear what he's saying because it's loud as fuck. And but I was like, "Is that Donald Trump up there?" And then they're like, "Yeah, it's Donald Trump." And I was like, "What the fuck? That's crazy." But then, one day everybody was kind of down. It was one of those down days, and then the cops had control of the TV, so they put it on in the tower, for the inside of the dorm, and he was having that famous fucking debate where he started talking about illegal immigration. And so I heard what he said, and I had always been ranting and raving because my grandpa said that, he talked about it when I was young, the problems that, he saw what was now, what we're living through now, he saw back then. And so I adhere to that because I saw the way that my grandfather lived and carried himself, the way he composed himself and his demeanor and how successful he was, and I valued his opinion and his outlook. So if somebody of that nature is speaking in this context, then to me that's the right way. So I did investigating and shit later on, but generally speaking, that's where I got my ideas from, where they stem from, conservatively speaking. And, you know, I never saw myself into politics because I was just very, like, I like George Bush. I supported the war in Iraq. I wanted to get the guys on 9/11. I
Right.
didn't, there was nothing outside of dudes in turbans knock down the towers, stuff like that.
Right.
And then my grandpa got cancer, and then I went down the rabbit hole for cancer and what they're really doing because I didn't believe these bitch ass doctors. And then that kind of led me into everywhere that I am now, philosophically, ideologically, religiously, and everything like that. And then the getting into the rallies, I saw him and he talked about illegal immigrants, and I was like, hell yeah, deport them all. And then all the essays that were around me were like, what the fuck on me? What you mean deport them all, dog? You know, and I was like, what you mean? He's talking about getting rid of all the illegals, bro. Finally, fucking somebody's saying it, you know, besides me. And
Right.
uh,
You
so
guys are
that's what
overrunning
drew me in.
California too.
Yeah, living in Southern California, dealing with that shit my whole fucking life, being ostracized because I'm a fucking white boy. Everybody's got a fucking issue because they want to blame their fucking problems on me, not knowing I got a million other problems going on and 100 that are 10 times, 1,000 worse than theirs, you know.
Right.
And but that led me into seeing the videos with how they would treat Trump supporters if they donned that red hat. And so I told myself I want one of those hats, you know, and then because my dumb ass, you know, like I wasn't seeking it out, but I was inviting it. If
You
like
were kind of already getting it anyways, right? You're kind of already getting treated that way because you're in enemy territory for per se or whatever.
yeah.
Well, we're going to get more into that about how you kind of started going to rallies and stuff like that, and then what eventually led you to January 6th, and then we'll get into the heavy stuff after that. But we're going to have to
So
take it. We're going to have to take a commercial break here, David. Hang on just a second. We'll be back with
all right.
more Liberty's Cage with David Dempsey and me, Shane Jenkins, right after this. See y'all after the break.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single Justice for All with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. We'll get ready for round two. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see. A symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
I'm Shane Jenkins back with Liberty's Cage with my buddy David Dempsey, who we did probably, I would have to say at least, probably well over 2 years in the DC jail together.
Uh,
So,
shit, I was there for like almost, I think about 3 years almost, because I was in Santa Ana for 2 weeks, in Grady County for 2 weeks, and then I was in the CDF for like a month, and
but
then I
when did you
came
get? When did
over
you
to.
actually get to DC though? When did you get? Do you remember?
Oh, it was September of 21.
Okay, I got there in April of 21. So May, June, July, August, September. I got there 5 months before you. I did 32 months, so 27 months. We were 22 years and 3 months we were together. I left before you though, because I remember
Yeah.
hearing you got 20 years when I was already in federal prison. So, by the way,
It's
David Dempsey got 20 years for January 6th, and we're getting there. But let's get. So you wanted to don the red cap because you were about that life. You were already kind of getting persecuted as a white man in Southern California.
Fuck yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean? Air quotes. Ain't no air quotes necessary, bro.
A
There's a jealousy
cisgendered white
factor
male.
that exists for no fucking reason. I didn't do nothing to nobody. Motherfuckers hate me and
What are
got
your
an issue with me.
what were your
Huh?
pronouns, by the way, back then? I was wondering.
Were shit.
Was
I don't
were
even know.
has been? Is that
Yeah. Was were.
they them? Anyway, so they started having. You saw Trump rallies while you were in jail. You're like, I want some of that smoke. You got the MAGA hat, and then from there, would you start attending rallies, counter protesting, or what were you? How'd that
No,
go?
I just kind of I didn't know where to find him because I was in LA and it seemed like everywhere that he held the rallies were either big conservative zones or if they were liberal, like it was just on such short, and like when he went to the ship in South Bay uh down here and I mean, you know,
San
in
Diego.
Cali in Southern California. And so he went to the ship. And remember, he had to go behind the gate, and he had to go like they had to go over the gate and shit and go
I,
behind
I,
because there were so many people.
I
Like that
didn't see
really
it.
happened.
I didn't see it.
It,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, and so seeing shit like that, and I was like, they're making it because this man's talking about getting rid of these motherfuckers that shouldn't even
No.
be here, and putting
Well,
us
speaking
first.
of, you're speaking of mass deportations in America first and all that. Do you believe that there will ever be, because we were promised mass deportations, right now they're just going after the criminals. I've heard some people say that maybe after midterms, the hounds are going to be released and it's going to be just everybody out. If you're not legal, you're getting out all the way. Or do you feel like it's just going to kind of be like very measured, very, surgical with who they're removing and all that the whole time through his second presidency? Do you think maybe it was misrepresented, or what do you think?
Okay, so I'll give a two-part answer to that. Uh, One, what I believe the solution is the same solution that there's these two brothers on X that I watch, two white dudes, and
Hodgkins?
essentially the mass force re-migration slash deportation of 30 million plus
Hmm.
non-white citizens. They without that, we're doomed.
Right,
With that, we stand a fighting chance. That
right.
being said, um, I I can only hope uh, that they actually do implement the mass deportations. But I'll be honest, uh, when you're beholden to a foreign nation who is single-handedly responsible for that mass migration, I, I, I'm left to, one is left scratching their head to say that how the fuck are we going to solve this if the people that caused the problem are the same people that we're fucking helping out?
That we're
And
bombing Iran for? I mean, is that
yeah, like dude, we don't people are mad at me over the Iran shit, and Trump did not say we're gonna blow them up because it was this or that. He said no new wars. That's what he
right?
campaigned on. And that means that we're not going to go die, and Americans aren't going to go die in another fucking part of the world on behalf of the Zionists, because let's just fuck beating around the bush.
Right.
These the reason that our boys and women are dying is because of Israel.
Uh,
There's no other way about it. It's these Zionists who implement these policies that have been long in place, and this is why they've been ostracized so badly, and this is why they've been booted out of hundreds of countries for thousands of years, because of the diabolical, methodical, evil way they go about replacing a people. And
right.
make no mistake, they want to get rid of us. So that's why I believe, that's why I struggle with, is anything actually going to happen? I was happy when I was hearing about all the raids and everything, and then him snatching. It was like going to Home Depot and doing all the. And they're like, they said it was only violent criminals. And said, no, we want all of them. We want all
Yeah.
of them, man. At this point, you fucking no. The sovereignty of our nation and the survival of our people as a whole, and I mean that as America and as whites, is wholly dependent upon actually accomplishing the feat of mass deportations. And without that, we do not have a sovereign nation. We do not have people who share the same ideologies, the same belief systems, the same religions. They don't do it in a compatible way with the native populace here.
Well, a lot of people don't realize where the transgender stuff came from, who owns the porn industry, who owns big media, and I don't want this to be a show about those individuals, but I do. We have some threats on our radar, whether it's those people or whether it's Islam or the. I think symptoms of I think a lot of those other issues, whether it's the mass immigration, like the border invasion, are symptoms of the greater problem, which is those people that got kicked out of all those countries. But I don't know that America's ready to hear that yet. I do
Well, they
think that
fucking need to. They need to, because by then it's going to be too
yeah.
little, too late.
I think
And
the
these
great
people need to
noticing.
wake up. They're not our fucking allies.
That's right. No. Well, and Judea, just based on a Christianity, like from as a Christian male, will you please stop? My dog is whining right now. um, based upon just Christian values in the Bible, like they are not our friend. They literally had Jesus crucified. It's not the same people. They believe that Jesus Christ is not the Messiah. If you read the Talmud, which is the rabbi's interpretation of the Torah, that they talk about Jesus is in a burning, boiling pit of
Yeah,
excrement in
but he's
hell.
boiling in a vat of human shit in hell
Yeah,
for all of
that's what they
eternity.
believe. And so that is not, there's no Judeo Christian anything. That's just a term that was created, I guess, back in the 40s or 50s or whatever, that is,
By
along with
guess who?
the
By guess
Rothschild
who?
state. People, I really hope, I want to, you may feel like these two guys, Gen Sixers, don't know what they're talking about. I encourage you to do some research and look up some of this stuff. What's your take on the Epstein files? What do you think about how that's played out? How do you feel about that?
Well, to every libtard in the mainstream media, and to every idiotic Antifa douchebag, and to just every Democrat in general, we were talking about this, for a long time, and everybody called us crazy, called us conspiracy theorists. Hell, they even put us on different tiers when they investigated us in the FBI. They put us, if you were a QAnon follower, or you believed in a satanic cabal was controlling the world, and and eating babies and shit like that, you're basically labeled this absolute nut job, and they had more resources to go after you
I
because of it.
forgot I forgot my FBI file said tier one anti-government extremist, comma QAnon. I forgot about that. I forgot that my stuff said that until you just
They
said that.
they
I
made a
forgot about
special
that.
note. They made
Yeah.
special notes in my paperwork. They're like, of note, Mr. Dempsey is wearing a red QAnon shirt with the words, "Where we go one, we go all." You know, the
That's
reason that the reason this is of significance is because QAnon is a fucking debunked conspiracy, blah blah blah. You
right.
know, and like just the fucking mainstream talking parrot just on print. And
Funny,
I just want my
funny
fucking
side note.
apology.
Did you
I
see
just
Bill
want my
Maher
apology.
go? Did you see Bill Maher when he goes, "Where do I find QAnon people and go apologize to them?" And he said that, which is crazy because if I mean
He's a red
whether it was
shoe. He's part of the Red Shoe Club.
whether it was chemtrails, whether it was, I'm just waiting for them to tell me that the Earth is flat. That's what I'm waiting on. That's about the only thing that I haven't got confirmed. Like we found out the Satanic Cabal is eating babies, cannibals, adrenochrome, all that's real. Uh, you know, Epstein didn't kill himself. We found out there's like so much that has become true. Um, and it's like whenever they've lied to us about so much, some say, you know, like, like some might say the most. They've lied about everything. Like, what else is going to be true that I didn't even think was a conspiracy? Like, you know, like is this? Are we really in the Matrix? Am I even really right where I am right now? What is going on? I don't know. But I look
Right? Can
forward
we
to it.
travel through these cameras?
Right, that would be awesome. Well, when we come back for segment 3, we will let's get in. We'll squeeze in all of January 6th in the next segment, and then the last segment we'll dedicate to the people who have suffered at the hands of Child Protective Services, much like yourself, Peter Stager, whom I'm going to have on soon. But we are honored to be here on the America First Media, on the America First Media app with Joe the Box at the America First Warehouse. We have some great friends out there in Ronkonkoma, New York, who love us and allow us to be on this network and promote this show and spend time with you guys. We'll be back with more Liberty's Cage after
It's
this.
me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, with Shane Jenkins going deep for some gold.
Hopefully not. I don't want to have to use this to dig up our own gold, but fortunately we do have a place called soundmoney.info/Stand in the Gap, and you can help us at Stand in the Gap and all the J6ers accumulate some wealth for their families and their future.
There is a better way.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome back to the America First Warehouse. What we're still doing? Fighting! Every day, all day long.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live
on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
Good morning, everyone. Shane Jenkins again with Liberty's Cage with my friend David Dempsey. Sure to upset some people today with some stuff that we're talking about, but we're going to try to get into January 6th right now. So, David, I don't know where you want to start, but you got 12 minutes to discuss January 6th, so let's get down through there.
First of all, January 6th was a stain on democracy and a threat to the very existence of our country as we know it.
That's right.
Donald Trump and his racist, bigoted, homophobic, xenophobic followers attacked our house as an S. Okay. No, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Just thinking about it now and the fact that there was jackasses in my courtroom that were really on that fucking democracy is at stake bullshit. But the word democracy doesn't even show up in any of our, founding documents. So, fucking explain that mystery to me. But anyways, so January 6th, there was kind of a culmination of things that led to January 6th, and I'll say it, I'll try to get it out quickly. People forget about the 2 Million Man MAGA marches that Trump called for in November of 2020 and December of 2020. And then the third big one being January 6th. So some people kind of didn't really know about the November one. And then they heard about the December one because they saw all the shit that happened with Antifa attacking people and small women and children and shit like that. Like the black child molester dude from BLM who sucker punched the old man in the back of the head. And then December comes and the boys come out and, a lot more patriots come out. And then this time somebody gets stabbed, and one of the boys got stabbed. And
a member of the Proud Boys got stabbed.
Yeah. And so after that, you have, like I said, so you had this rising and fomenting, attitude and
escalation,
behavior that's slowly building up. And then January 6th comes. Some people didn't know, because I talked to some people, they didn't even know that it was a certification. They just knew that Trump was like, yeah, we're going to be there. We're going to go. It's going to happen. And so people showed up, but I was intent on going because I knew full well that they stole the election, full stop. There's no excuses. We all know it was stolen. At this point, they've, essentially come out and admitted it. They might as well have. And I'm talking about the people on the left, and then all the naysayers on the right. I felt the same way everybody else did. There was a heavy sense of betrayal when the election results came in. We knew anybody who stayed up and actually saw it happen in live time knew that something was fucking wrong. And I watched the theft happen in real time. I couldn't understand. I remember I was like, what the fuck? I was like, he just went up like he's just going up. How has he moved up 200,000 votes and Trump's only moved up, because it was that big dump had happened. And
great, the vertical line for Biden is what you're at.
And I had watched that and I didn't know what it was at first. I just was like, there ain't no fucking way, and then they're like, Edmund Biden. And it was like, when they called it, I was like, they fucking stole the election, and so, we go there because it's not just our right, but it was our duty. Especially when a government becomes tyrannical and there's people that are orchestrating the theft of, the will of the people, and decided to go. And one of the things I could tell you was this whole notion that the Democrats and a lot of Republicans, especially in private, let's be honest, they developed this whole theory and this attitude of, the sedition, the attempted overthrow, the losing of what we know as America. Like all this conjecture that was just being directed towards people's emotions about a bunch of bullshit that
It
wasn't
was
true.
gaslight. It was gaslighting. It was
Yeah,
bullshit. It was
it was
overblown,
bullshit. It was just
dramatic.
it was
It
all
was
light. It
worse
was
than
smoke
the
and
Civil
mirrors and
War
lights.
and World War II and Pearl Harbor, and it was worse. Come on.
And I'm like, there's no way, and you know that the people can't help but compare themselves to the rest of the world because they're like, those weirdos. They always got to get that shit out, so they know they're responsible for all the acts that they talked about. For Pearl Harbor, for 9/11, for all the
Projection.
shit.
It's called projection. Yeah, they're projecting
Yeah,
their.
and so the seeing that happen and knowing that we had a chance to really steamroll some agendas, getting rid of people like Paul Ryan, and we should have got rid of idiots like Lindsey Graham and Mitt Romney way back when, without giving these fucking idiots a voice. But people just vote for them and then nobody goes against them. But then there's a lot of things that happen in the inner the inner runnings of politics that prevent these people, like real America First, real MAGA candidates, that get fucking steamrolled because they either can't get on the ballot because of some fucking loophole or some stupid shit that just favors these people who have been taught all the secrets and everything on how to maintain their power. They could like vote you out and shit like that. It's a lot of stuff, especially on the local level. And that's why we had these shit members in Congress. Because when you talk to the people, that none of them espoused Biden, pro-Biden views or pro-Biden anything. You could just look at the research on the internet. Just fucking go to Google, and when you go to there, just check out how it says, look at Biden merchandise and find, because there's websites that categorize the different things that are purchased regardless of where they come from or how much they cost. They put all that shit in there too, but it'll tell you, and you could filter it out based upon
like how many people bought a Biden hat and how many people bought a MAGA hat, basically.
Yeah, bro, tell me why across the country they didn't sell more than 25,000 Biden flags.
Yeah.
The entirety of the country, bro.
Yeah,
the American shops would sell out and so fast that motherfuckers would just have to get it from China because there was nothing available here because they couldn't produce it fast enough. But you want to tell me something slick like this fucking old pedophile won, and he won handedly.
Yeah.
I just anybody
Obama
Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles could see that shit was stolen, man.
So that was your frame of mind when you went to DC, and then obviously January 6th happened. And so do you want to go through that, or do you want to get to the rest part?
I could say I never had any intention on the overthrowing of the government.
Right.
That did not happen, especially if I'm unarmed and I don't have any weapons and nobody else has any weapons. This is the United States government we're talking about. This isn't like, we're going to go fuck these dudes up, bro. We're going to make this happen.
We're going to put Trump back in office.
Stupid fucking fly, man. I fucking hate flies, dude. Can't stand them fucking things, man. Thanks God. But I met up with a patriot friend of mine, a good friend of mine, and she was an incredible, vast source of knowledge, who I took a heavy liking to when I was introduced to her. And I ended up reaching out to her and asking if she if she wanted to do the Jan 6 thing. And we had been talking for a while, and I ended up going to January 6th with this girl. I met up with her and flew out and
was
we
it
met.
a date more than it was a rally, or was?
Yeah, it was for Jan 6th. It was for going out there. And my intentions, like I said, was not to overthrow the government, but what it was to do was to go there and let them know, like, we're not okay with what you did. We know what the fuck you did, and you're gonna investigate this shit. you know, like I said, we just knocked on their door. We didn't, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about and acting like we tried to do some hostile takeover because
It's not
like
really
different
possible.
time. Yeah, the fuck, dude. Come on,
We could have
man.
leveled the Capitol, and it still wouldn't have changed the fact of anything. Like
Yeah.
there's no lever that you can grab in there. Like, oh, we've seized control of the power of the.
Yeah, we got it, bro.
We captured the flag. No, it's not how it works.
But so I went with this person, and when we went, I had to make sure that, like, I protected her, that nothing happened, and we went to go do a flag drop up where the presidents get inaugurated at. And I had made a speech, by the way, at a gallows that ended up being set up by the feds, I guess. But when I saw it, I thought it was awesome because I was like, hey, man, we could really do for some of that, And I'm like, what's that? And I was like, well, this here artwork. I mean, I don't know who you're going to hang here because it's like too short. It's midgets, maybe. But, nonetheless, we should really get rid of people who are guilty of treason and we should hang them. And then they asked me about they asked me about it. I talked about the impeachment scandal and said, my piece on that. And then they mistranslated in court to what happened. I saw the police attack us. I saw them beating the shit out of us. I retaliated and, gave them a taste of their own medicine.
Next thing you know.
And the next thing you know, the cops, were talking about, they were shocked they made it, which is a bunch of bullshit. And, I made it.
You got 20 years in prison.
Yeah, 20 fucking years because these dudes lied about their injuries and lied about their experience in order to facilitate a bullshit story on behalf of these, evil fucking politicians who stole
we gotta go to break, David, but we'll be back with more Liberty's Cage right after this. I'm Shane Jenkins. That's David Dempsey. See you in a minute.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
It's me, Joe the Box, down at the border getting some gold with Shane Jenkins.
No, Joe, we're going to avoid Montezuma's revenge, and we're just going to go to soundmoney.info/Stand in the Gap, and you can help Stand in the Gap and help January 6 people.
See you there.
See you there.
At the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. Well, get ready for round 2. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Jenkins back with Liberty's Cage with David Dempsey. And we are going to transition. David was obviously pardoned by President Trump on day one of last year, a little bit over a year ago. But David has a story.
Technically day two. Technically day two.
I mean, I got out day two. I was pardoned the first day. You were released the second day. I was technically released the second day as well. I got out 1 a.m. on the 21st, but nevertheless.
3 a.m. on the 21st.
Right. So David has a story that he wants to share. It's a sensitive topic, but it's about Child Protective Services and the mess that is in our country. But I'm going to let you get into it. We're going to transition away from January 6th, but you got 12 minutes. This will be the final segment. I can always bring you back on if you don't get to finish it, but go ahead. I'm going to turn the floor over to you and let you just kind of share what's going on.
And if you feel like interjecting with a question to kind of lead the direction to something that you find that was intriguing, whatever. Just kind of touch on it. It's a fucked up thing to know some of the true atrocities and evils that exist in this world. The effects that those evils that are perpetrated on the innocent have on the innocent, what it does to their self-esteem, their mindset, their trusting factors, when it comes to interacting with, any other human being they come into contact with, and then learning to overcome a lot of the damage that these, predators have caused and created in people's lives. And then thinking about it, it's extra hard because I'm going through a civil case in Los Angeles County where I won, and I'm there, but they put a hold on the district attorney has put a hold on the law firm itself because they're apparently being investigated for fraud. I don't believe it to be true. I believe just another government stalling tactic of preventing the payout to, real victims by claiming that they don't know who's legit and who's not. I got receipts, names, dates, times, locations, placements, group homes, 6 beds, you name it, juvenile detention centers. I could name, like I said, staff, members, supervisors, administrative body members, just foster parents and stuff like that and their family. So I have a multitude of predators who have victimized me. I don't say I'm a survivor because I don't equate it to they didn't, in the sense try to kill me. They killed me, they wouldn't be able to reuse me, as sick and morbid as that is. But so that's why I say that I'm a victim, because I was in fact a victim. I don't do that political correctness bullshit. That's what I was. And that's what it is. I was able to get bigger eventually throughout time, and fight off the people. And I think honestly they have a preference for younger. So when you start to get older, you don't look the same. You don't have that infantile look. You don't have that the toddler.
Probably the innocent look, like the innocence, like you look like.
Like when you're 11, 12, 13 and shit, you probably seen or been through something, lost a family member, seen a dog get ran over, been punched in the head by some bully on the fucking schoolyard, so it's not the same when you look at what they've been through compared to, you take the candy bar from the kid and, granted, we know that they're addicted to the sugar and all that, but we're just talking about the fact that, like, to them, that's everything because they don't really know shit. They don't really know much in the world, and everything to them is just that one little thing. So it it just it just hits extra hard because of the Epstein files being released. And then for years, and when I mean years, people would give me so much shit because I would tell them, I'm like, fuck all the bullshit. Fuck what everybody's talking about. It's a satanic cabal of pedophiles who are cannibals, and that's who's running the world, man. And people were like, you're fucking out of your mind, dude. You know, like, we don't believe everything the government tells us, but you're fucking tripping. And then I was like, I'm telling you, and I said it for years. You could look at, like, if Facebook, they got all that old shit, even if you think you deleted it. So if they wanted to, they could pull up all my old Facebook shit. Like I said, 2010, 2007, talking about that shit and talking about how.
To circle back to be clear on it, kind of though, what you're saying, and I don't know that, like, I'm from Texas. Let's say I don't necessarily know that the Texas Department of, like, Child Protective Services is involved. I know that there's a bunch of sick bastards that, like, leech onto this system, right? They're the foster parents, they're the group homes, they're the whoever that are predators, sexual predators, whatever it is, or offer up these children to other sexual predators. But how does that work? How does this state system take children from a family, put them in a system that puts them in harm's way, and nobody get held accountable? And then I know that's kind of the same system for what Epstein was using. I don't know that the two correlate or that they are symbiotic or related to each other, but I know they're similar. But how does a state system fail like that?
Well, in my personal opinion on it is that they're completely complicit in the abuse and the trafficking of children. It's legalized child trafficking.
Right.
That's what CPS is. That's what Department of Children Family Services, Child Protective Services, so CPS, whatever fucking cloak they put on to hide the fact that all they are is they literally have bidding systems, so where you're worth, because, you know, foster parents and shit get a check for the kid being there, and so dependent upon, like, the race of the kid, the age of the kid, the weight, the health factors, the height, your eye color, your hair color, whether or not you come with a sibling, whether if you're going to be single, if you have mental issues, if you have physical issues, if you have psychological problems, if you're on medications, and you check off on all these things, and then you basically, you know, at the end of it, they score it up, and then that's your worth.
Right.
And then they push you off, and it was like every time you would go somewhere that's positive, it's like somehow they would know. And you'd find some people that were, like, really nice. And that's like the one thing Hollywood gets right, or lets come out, that's actually factual, because they know it's factual and not. But the black bag with your shit in it, going from one place to the other, being dropped off by the social worker who don't give a fuck about you.
Right.
And you know, you're telling them what they're doing to you, and they look at you and they say they'll put you in an insane asylum if you keep talking crazy. Right. So that's why when I say I have nothing for social workers, I don't care if there's good ones. I don't care if there's, you know, to me, you're all bad.
Right.
Because you won't speak out against the ones who are allowing or are complicit and perpetrating these crimes against, you know, the most innocent of the planet. And they do it on a daily basis. It's something like 99. Ryan Matta on X. If you watch him, he cold, hard hitting documentary he did, and that shit hits home. Also, you know, like, I haven't been through hell, bro. Hell, because of these people. And when I tried to tell them, I tried to tell the police, they, you know, called me a liar. Said I'm not allowed to make shit like that up because I could ruin someone's life. And
meanwhile, they're ruining your life.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they were doing everything they could to fucking destroy mine. abandonment issues from fucking not being around my family, tearing me apart, and all the whole well, what was happening where you were. Just yeah, they had their eyes on me. I was targeted along with my family members. We were sought. And the only reason I didn't fucking end up on like one of that fucking island or, you know, going through like the kindergarten care, if you remember that fucking scandal, or any of these churches and shit, is because I had a family.
Right.
And I had a family that, despite my fuck ups, they're like, well, we still want him, you know, but they made my grandparents go through fucking hell. They put him through hell. They put him through the ringer, through with all my family members, all my siblings. And it was just systematic abuse across the board. They did not give a fuck about your race. They didn't care about anything. They cared about whether or not you were a child and how much you were worth. And then they stole your innocence, and they did it to thousands upon thousands of kids. And now I gotta go through a tedious, time-consuming process when these motherfuckers haven't paid any form of, you know, penance for what they've done. They've
Zero
done
accountability.
none. They still walk freely amongst the public. Meanwhile, you know, I deal with the mental atrocities that that they put me through, and I have to, you know, deal with the behaviors that I exhibit and the treatment that I've given to other people I love, and then using them motherfuckers as a crutch and not taking accountability myself. So just fucking me up still, you know, but I'm altering that and I'm working on it. Therapy's a good thing. And I think men should really talk about that. They should really get into that. Don't let that be a stigma that prevents you from talking to anybody or saying that shit ain't masculine or whatever. You don't got to talk to some liberal Fruit Loop, but
David, we got to let's talk. We'll bring you back on. Hopefully we get some resolution for your lawsuit. And I definitely am down with some men's therapy. I think maybe we need a J6 community therapy, like with men, especially ones who did time together. Well, we are going to conclude this Liberty's Cage and just let America know that we love you. We appreciate you. This is David Dempsey. I'm Shane Jenkins. We'll see you next time.